All right. Uh, just wanted to do a little bit of a review on this bike. I've had it for a few months now. This is the 2017 KTM 450 XCF, which is basically exactly like the SX, the motocross one, but this one comes with an 18-inch wheel, kickstand, as you can see, bigger tank, which is good and bad. Good because it carries more fuel. This one's got 2.25 gallons, so it's cool for, you can go longer distances. I've definitely noticed that. But it looks like a fucking milk jug on your bike, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I have about 42 hours. I don't know if you can see that. Not probably not. 42.4 hours on this thing, and I gotta say, I love this bike, man. It's freaking awesome. I've been riding 450s for a long time. Had a Honda. Actually, I had two Honda 450s. I had a Yamaha 400 before that, and also had a Cowie 450. All motocross bikes. And this one, dude, is just so much smoother and like lots of power, way lighter. It's like 30 pounds lighter than any of the other motocrossers, pretty much. KTM and Husky are. It's got the air forks, WP air forks, which are amazing. Killer suspension. I was skeptical about air forks, but I test rode them at they had a test ride at Glen Helen last year, and it pretty much just sold me on it. I was on the power, the light feel, the suspension, the brakes, everything's killer. Bike's pretty much stock. I mean, we got a few things on it. I got the first thing I did was put the actually FMF. First, I just put the slip on there, and then I later put the header. And I'll tell you, with just I never rode it in stock form besides the demo, but I never actually rode my bike in full stock form. With the FMF pipe on there, it actually seemed like it mellowed it out, which was kind of a bummer. But kind of good too in a way. For off-road, it just made it a little smoother. But I noticed with the head pipe, it definitely gave it a little bit more bottom end, a little bit more aggressive feel. For just for FYI for you guys, if you're looking to get in this bike, or if you have this bike and maybe wondering about getting a pipe or whatever. From what I remember when I test rode it at Glen Helen, the bike was just an absolute beast. It was just like, just super, super powerful and aggressive. When I rode this one with the pipe, it seemed a lot mellower, and then now this added kind of that low end and the aggression back into it, pretty much. Let's see what else. I got the skid plate here. The skid plate's really cool. I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's by a Cherry Beast, and it's just got that one bolt. That one bolt holds it on, and it kind of like fastens into the frame on the bottom side. So it's really easy to take off and put back on and everything, which you have to do every time you change the oil. Let's see what else I put on this. These other grips, and actually grip heaters, which is killer. In Southern California, you wouldn't think I'd need it, but it does get cold out here, especially when you ride out in the mountains and everything. And I mounted the switch here, which is pretty cool. It's out of the way, and you can turn it on and off. It's got low and high. In the middle, it's off. These handguards are killer. They work well, as you can see. I've put them to the test a little bit. Got these unbreakable, whatever you want to call them, folding levers, KTM. They work great too. What else? Basically, yeah, just the performance of the bike. And I put this on here too, so I can connect it and charge the battery real easy. Air filter is super easy. There's no tools needed or anything. You just pull this off, and then you just kind of, you know, snap it back on. It's way easy. Yeah, electric start here. That's Cody in the background there. So you can see it works pretty well. Then you have, this is the map switch. 2 is aggressive and 1 is standard. I pretty much just keep it in 2 all the time. You can also put traction control on, which I've never used besides just trying it just for the hell of it. But I guess it has launch control too, but I've never used that at all. But yeah, this bike is amazing. The power is like, has a lot of power. I mean, it's a 450, obviously. It's 62 horsepower stock, plus the pipe. It's like roughly 65 horsepower, but it really doesn't feel like it. It's actually more mellow than my 09 KX 450. So you have lots of power, but it's smooth. You know, it doesn't break traction as easily. It's smoother out of the corners and stuff, and it doesn't wear you out as much. I feel like I can go faster on this bike for longer periods of time without getting tired. You know, just probably because of the weight and also just the power delivery. It's smoother. And gone through a couple sets of tires already on it. And but overall, I love this bike. Oh, one thing I have to say about this bike that's like super important. Like, I think the bike is amazing, but the only downfall to this bike that I can see is its gearing. It's straight motocross gearing, so you know, first gear is pretty high for, you know, real tight, technical, steep shit. And fifth gear is too low. You know, it's just taps out in fifth gear way too easy. You know, and this is an off-road racing bike. You know, it's not a casual, you know, it's not an enduro, it's not a trail bike. It's a, you know, a race bike for off-road. So for KTM to put out a bike that just gets tapped out so easily, I mean, you could be in a race and just tearing shit up through like single track and whipping everybody's ass, and then get out on the fire road and you got a bunch of noobs passing you because you're just like, you know, and you can't go fast enough. So this bike desperately needs a 6th gear. I was hoping they were going to have it on the 17s, maybe they'll have it on the 18s, but I'd almost be tempted to, you know, trade this one out and get an 18 if they did that. It'd be worth it. I could gear it up, but then, you know, first gear would be even taller, you know. So it just needs a 6th gear, really. So that is my only complaint with this bike. Handling is amazing, suspension is amazing, power delivery is amazing. You know, the weight, the feel, and everything is killer. Just the gearing kind of sucks. It's a little too narrow. So that's my review, I guess, of this bike. I've been super happy with it, minus the gearing problem. And I really like these. If any of you guys need grip heaters, this thing does have a battery and it does work really well, and I haven't had any problem with it at all. It helps a lot. I got them through Rocky Mountain, whatever, ATV I think it was. So there you go, 42.4 hours. This thing is rocking. Badass bike. Go out and buy one. And KTM, fucking put a 6th gear on this thing. All right.